This hole appeared out of nowhere, only now have scientists solved the mystery. The world is full of wonders. Among them is the mysterious hole in Lake Berryessa. No one knows how, but the mysterious hole opened up out of nowhere last year. Nobody really knew what it was, where it came from, or where the water was going to. Then, Evan Kilkus discovered something unexpected when he used a drone to explore this pit, and what he found inside was truly outrageous. Evan Kilkus, who's known on YouTube as Evan K, loved drones. As an adrenaline junkie, he worked at the boat and jet ski rental at Lake Berryessa, but in his spare time, he would go on adventures using his drone. Then one day, while flying the drone, he noticed something weird. Kilkus saw what appeared to be a massive hole that had formed on Lake Berryessa. But when he went to investigate, he quickly regretted it. From a distance, Kilkus saw something odd while flying his drone over Lake Berryessa. It was a large hole on the surface of the lake. This dark-looking shape intrigued Kilkus, who decided to take a closer look. After all, the odd shape had seemingly appeared out of nowhere, and he wanted to see what it was. But when he started to fly his drone towards the massive hole on the lake, he ran into an unforeseen complication. Kilkus realized there was a problem when the drone screen started to flash, so he piloted it back to safety just in time. After investigating it, he saw that the battery was low. Obviously, the last thing Kilkus wanted was to risk losing the drone in the hole. After he landed the drone safely, he took a look at the footage and his pulse began to race. He had discovered something awesome, but he didn't know what was inside. Kilkus intended to explore the hole in the lake even further. The only thing was that he had no idea how to do it. After a bit of brainstorming, he came up with a plan. Kilkus flew the drone towards the massive hole to begin his exploration plan. This involved flying the drone by the perimeter to see if he noticed anything that was out of the ordinary. If he saw something that piqued his interest, he could then devise a plan to investigate the hole further. But he was unprepared for the mission's massive undertaking, and he quickly regretted it when he realized where the hole led to. California suffered a serious drought over the last decade. This had destabilized the ecosystem in the area, and that included Lake Berryessa. Water levels decreased significantly, which left the lake virtually barren. To say that the site was dismal would have been an understatement, because what was once a gushing waterbed was now a depressing, arid location. People never imagined that this area would be restored. But when it started to rain, something incredible occurred. When it finally rained in California, it poured, and this was a real blessing. The land was no longer dry, and it brought a gift with it. In fact, this was the gift that Kilkus had found. According to Kilkus himself, the widest area of the hole was about 72 feet wide, which was huge. But holes don't just pop out of nowhere. There had to be an explanation. So the question remained, how did this hole just appear out of thin air? The hole had done more than draw Kilkus's attention. Anyone driving near that area of the dam was left wondering. In fact, onlookers gathered from all over, and they stared at the seemingly endless abyss. But when Kilkus did a little more investigating, he got to the bottom of the truth. When Kilkus took his drone to the lakeside, he was prepared for what he assumed was the biggest journey of his life. It turns out that water gushed like crazy at the foot of it. It seemed to him like a massive gutter was spewing water out after a massive rainstorm. Ironically, that's what Kilkus had discovered. The hole was nothing more than a man-made slipway. Naturally, Kilkus was relieved that the hole was not caused by something supernatural. However, the slipway did hold some mystery. Kilkus discovered that the slipway was created at the same time as Lake Berryessa. You see, the lake is also the 7th largest man-made lake in California. So you can just imagine the massive water volume the lake itself has. But the reason for the slipway was to make sure that the lake would never overflow. It also keeps the area and the dam wall safe from a buildup of water pressure. But why hadn't anyone seen this in over 10 years? Since California had experienced a prolonged drought, the slipway had no real purpose. So in the wake of the low water levels, the slipway was closed and eventually forgotten. Now, in most cases, slipways often run through sections of the dam wall or over them. But this mysterious design led to the appearance of a hole in the lake. Although the mystery of the hole has been solved, people continue to feel a strange pull towards it. And if you haven't seen it yourself, you should definitely do it. It's definitely worth the trip to see Lake Berryessa and its mysterious hole. But if you aren't able to head on over to California, then you can at least watch Kilkus's YouTube video to lay witness to the impressive sight of the lake and its mysterious slipway.